Yeah, I'll do this. So, for, what do you call that? What is the word? Not public service announcement, but disclaimer. I think a disclaimer, yes. Very, very charged, insensitive words I'm about to use because I need to read this to you the way it is. So if you offend easily, you might not want to hear. So SNL, Saturday Night Live. The Saturday Night Live has hired our new cast members. One of them is named Shane Gillis. And there is a video of him. He used to have a little YouTube channel where he was making sexist, homophobic, racist remarks. Naturally. This type of stuff lives forever. Keep telling y'all. NBC announced Gillis, Chloe Fineman, and Bowen Yang as the newest SNL cast members. I did say Yang. Just hours later, a video went viral on Twitter which Gillis mocks Chinese people using several racial slurs during an episode. I'm getting this off of MSNBC, by the way. Or CBS News, I'm sorry. During his racial slurs during an episode of his podcast last year. This is not 1400 years ago like most of the time. This is last year. In a now deleted YouTube video, Gillis and his co-host Matt McCusker shared a slew of racist jokes against Chinese American, mocking their accents and their culture. The page Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast is now completely devoid of content. They once said, "Let the fucking chinks live there," when he was referring to New York City's Chinatown neighborhood. The two go on to mock Chinatown's architecture and food, complaining extensively about MSG and calling noodles neuters. In the same video, Gillis and McCusker joke about going to Thailand to party with ladyboys and complain about their ethnicity and being racist against white people. In another podcast episode, the duo, they call themselves comedians. They rank other comedians, by race, gender, and sexuality. They repeatedly make racist and sexist remarks and using homophobic slurs throughout. And they said white chicks are literally at the bottom, is what Gillis said. Ali Wong is making it so Asian chicks are funnier than white chicks. They also referred to Jude Apatow, I don't know who that is or how to say that name, and Chris Githard as white faggots in White Faggot Comics, and they're fucking gayer than ISIS. Gillis shared a statement on the video Thursday night calling himself a comedian who pushes boundaries. This is his defense. While he didn't apologize in the statement, he said he would be happy to apologize to anyone who was actually offended by what he said. He called the racist comments risk that missed the mark. Not racist, but risk that missed the mark. So he was trying to be provocative, but it missed the mark. It wasn't funny. Gillis, Feynman, and Yang are named to SNL's for the show's 45th season. These are the new people and begins at the end of the month. Yang, who started writing for the show last year, is openly gay and the first Chinese American cast member. That should be fun around the office. Gillis is now facing backlash from Twitter, and people are calling NBC to replace him. So how was your day? God dang. So Gillis, are you out? I've seen Saturday Night Live maybe one time, and not the whole thing. I've seen a skit they did. It was never my thing, and then I heard too many rumors at the time, and still to this day, so I don't watch it. But it is an extremely popular show. And Eddie Murphy is supposed to be going back to host it, which should be fun. But, Gillis, are you out? I don't feel as though you are. But that's just my, anyway. Gillis, do you have anything to worry about? Yes, no, maybe so. There. That's dark. Gillis. Or Gillis, however you say his name. And see, here's the thing. This is just me personally saying this. When you are sitting around with your friends, like he was on his podcast, stuff comes out of your mouth. Now, here's another thing. How is it allowed to be on YouTube, but I can't do this? You come on, somebody. But anyway, when you're sitting around with your friends, you say stupid things, especially males. Their IQ kind of drops when they get around their friends when they're not the most mature in the first place. Now, if you're a mature person, then you'd be fine. But when you get around and you have a tendency to be immature as a comedian, and you get around other people who are kind of like you, the IQ and the immaturity just hit the floor, right? So stuff like this happen where you say insensitive, stupid things because you're talking to your friend. That's how y'all talk, right? This, however, is different to me. Because when you have these type of things to say, it rests within you, is what I always say. You didn't just pull racism out of the air and decide to use it for your podcast. You carry it with you and then threw it on the table. There's a reason all of these in particular things were coming out, not because he was a racist once upon a time, or he said racist things once upon a time, or he's just trying to make a controversial joke. No, you were not trying to be funny. You were trying to be hurtful. Therefore, like I said, this rests with you. It's something you carry around. Now, this is not one of those situations where you can say, oh, he's just a comedian. You're reading too much into it. Get over yourself. No. We're not going to get over ourselves. A person being Chinese does not mean that you get to come in, because the racism spectrum is always black and white. But you don't get to go to someone who's Chinese, someone who's Japanese, someone who is Arab, someone who is from Pakistan, someone who is from hell, from down the street, and say whatever it is you want to say about them because you feel like you can. This rests within him. He has a problem, period. Not that he has a problem making funny jokes. No, he has a problem, period. I have never went on anybody podcast or anything like that and said these kind of things because that doesn't rest within me to say. Even if I am talking about Chinese Americans, never would I say that word that you said, that I'm not repeating. Hermit, your first card. Searching. Ace of Wands. So here, this is interesting. You were asked about this. You said, I will apologize to anyone who is actually offended. That is not an apology. That is not how an apology starts out. So what he's saying is, I'm not really sorry. But if you were offended, then I will apologize to you. That is a bad way to approach this. And I think those who have something to do with your career are telling you so. You're not getting a job at, the Kichiku comedy store down the street. This is Saturday night national TV live, which gets more ratings than the news sometimes. So there is a new action. They're searching for a better approach. King of Cups. There's your support system. So yeah, they're searching for a better approach to this, because you got the job, right? Saturday Night Live has reached out to you. You got the job. This is going to mess it up. So they're trying to find an approach. This is your support system. All is not lost. Ace of Coins is in your outlook or your outcome. So there's still some money somewhere. So Seven of Cups. Because this is not like a Dave Chappelle thing to where everybody was trying to come. No, that was a select group of people. This is disgusting. So Seven of Cups. There's either a lot of choices or there is a confusion. So let's see. Death. Confusion. This is a hard problem. How do we correct this? You have to let go, I think, of I can do this because I'm a comedian. I get that people, because I took up for Dave Chappelle and I still believe that. That is not the same thing. This is different. You have a, first of all, there is, I will say, there is a handicap to being white when it comes to race. Because anything you say in a racial discussion, not jokes and all this, well, let's put that in there too. Racial discussion or jokes will be taken out of context. Not maybe, not kind of be, will be. Will be taken out of context and will be used against you by somebody who offends easily. This is not what that was. You called somebody outright a racial slur. But, so they have a handicap when it comes to talking about race. I have, white people around me who don't want to, they'll talk about it with me because they know I'm not going to jump off the handle should they say something that sounds insensitive. But it's like that thing where some white people are afraid to call black people black. They say African American because that's politically correct and I don't want to step on nobody's toes. And if I say black people, then it sounds too harsh. And so it's that thing. So I get that being white does give you a handicap when it comes to talking about race, but you were not having a racial discussion. You were having a here's why we don't like Chinese people discussion. And I think that now if this were black people, then your career would be over. But the problem is there is no equality when it comes to racism. People don't jump and become all in arms when it happens to somebody else other than black people. Because black people have had it worse in this country and so forth and so forth. But when they do this against Native Americans, when they do this against Chinese Americans, when they do this hell against Italian Americans, it's not the same thing. And so it doesn't carry the same veracity. So right now, there is a confusion, many choices, but they don't know how exactly to get out of this. Because there is a very big change coming. He is going to have to, if he goes along with it, he doesn't have to, but he's going to have to change his image. In this, what I started to say before I went on that tangent, what he's going to have to do is get rid of this I'm a tough guy comedian thing. I'll apologize to you if you're offended. No, you apologize. That is what you're going to say. Because you're going to have to stop this whole I stand behind my jokes and I'm tough thing. That's not going to work for you. Not for you. Because they don't know how to get out of this. And they don't know how to get out of it is because you started this with this whole I'm tough, I stand behind my joke. If you were really that offended, then fine, I'll apologize. The Lovers. It's a good card. You got some support. Page of Coins. So somebody, SNL is still behind you. These are the people you are aligned with. So that's the Lovers card. And then news about money. So SNL is still behind you. The Star is your fear. Maybe that it will dim, but you'll be fine. Three of Cups is your hopes, celebration. The Eight of Swords. You will have to submit. This is powerless. You're going to have to submit. You're going to have to change your image. As this person has. Or this card usually depicts the Grim Reaper. That's a human in there. So you're going to have to change your image. You can't be the tough guy. You can't be the Grim Reaper. You're going to have to be human. Priestess. That's secrets. That's internal knowledge. So y'all have y'all a little powwow. And sometimes that's looked as there's races too. But you have your little get together. And correct this image. Because SNL is still behind you. You got money coming from somewhere. Your word of warning, though, if they dig up something else, they may have deleted all your videos, or you may have deleted all the videos, but they're still out there. The internet lives forever. So you may have more dug up on you. Support system. So it's everywhere. You have a team. Support system. This is the nurturer. This is a support system. So you have major support. The Eight of Cups. Oh, wow. That took a turn. I said you got money coming from somewhere. You have to walk away from the money offer. Interesting. Because this is news about money, though. This is not necessarily you get the money. This is just you got the job. And then there's an abandonment and a walking away. You had homophobic slurs and racial slurs against Chinese Americans. One of the people they have hired is an openly gay Chinese American. Now that person may choose to say, hey, it's not a big deal. Let me and him have a conversation and we'll have a talk and we'll iron it out. But he offended more than you, darling. You have to walk away. So are they going to replace you? I think they're going to give you the option. Or give you one of those like how they do with The View. And they let the people say, I thank The View for their time and giving me a chance, and I'm going to go off and do other things. And they fired you. That's what that means. They just give you the Star Jones treatment. So, oh, Lord. So, let me look one more time. Gillis. Man who doesn't like the Chinese. Are you out? Are you out? Should use that one. I'll use this one. The Devil. Two of Wands, preparation. Knight of Swords, quick energy. Four of Wands, that's the show. Ten of Cups, happy home. The Star, hope and healing. There's the King, the Sun. Eight of Coins, and the Chariot. I think you have to move on. They'll just let you do it the View way. But yeah, you got to move on. I don't know if this in particular, I don't know when, I should say it that way, because I still say the show is behind you. I don't care what this said. The show is behind you. And they may let you work, just not renew your contract. So you'll get one run with the show to sort of elevate your star, and then out you go. One way or the other, you're going out.